All right, hey, welcome. Here we are, first episode of what we're calling Chapel Youth Chat, but it might take on a number of different names, Ben. I'm here with Ben Savant, who is a senior in high school. He's a senior with us at Chapel Youth, obviously. But Ben does so much more than just be involved with the youth group. I mean, I've got to go with you to Arlington, Brazil, countless probably youth camps and stuff like that. He's a great man. He's a good student leader, but obviously there's much more to him than that. He plays high school football. I'll let him talk a little bit about that at Bixby High School, which is, according to some, Ben Savant, the number one team in the country. What are your thoughts on that?
We're definitely good at football. I don't know about number one, but we're definitely up there. We can probably hang with any team in the country for sure. We can beat a lot of them.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, just super blessed to be a part of that.
Yeah, you guys state champions this year.
8 in a row.
I was going to say you guys didn't lose a game. Is that right?
No, not this season.
Not this season. But that's 8 state titles in a row.
8 straight. What was it now? We've won since 2014. We've only lost one state championship. We've won the rest. I don't know the math. It's either 11. I think, it's our 11th championship out of 12 years. Crazy.
So, I mean, needless to say, you're not a one-dimensional person by any means. There's a lot to you, Ben, but I think that a unique perspective you can provide for this podcast, and really our first episode, and a unique perspective you can provide for a lot of teenagers, especially those that are in sports, is what's it like, not just playing a high school sport and balancing your faith with that, but like playing a legitimate elite high school sport with an elite team that's proven, has a track record. I mean, you guys just won a state title and it was your 8th in a row. And so I really want to talk about that because you're someone who lives out their faith. You're somebody who takes their faith seriously, and you're so invested and involved on the athletic side. At least you were. Now you're a senior. We'll see what's ahead. But you've also been so invested in church, and so I'm truthfully, personally super excited to hear a little bit of the backstory. Is there anything else you'd like the awesome people listening or watching to know about you? Like, any fun facts about yourself? Have you always been a Tulsan or a Bixbyan? Is that what you would call it?
Yeah, I've gone to Bixby my whole life, born in Tulsa. You know, I've jumped around a couple houses, but we've all just moved within the area. Okay. So pretty much lived here my whole life, gone to the school whole life. So a lot of friends I've known for 12 plus years.
Yeah. What's next so that people know? What are you thinking?
Right now, not planning on playing college football. With high school, the amount of time and work we put in, it's pretty much like getting a college experience. And some people really like it. Some people aren't as in love with the game as others, and there's nothing wrong with that. So I plan on just going to Arkansas, studying business there.
Awesome.
Just focusing on academics and my future after that.
That's great, man. No, I can echo that. I think I might have told you this. I don't remember if I've told you this, but my brother.
D3? Oh.
Yeah, not me, bro. I had no possible future in football, but my brother played college football at the D2 level, and he said it kind of just burned it out of him. So I think at some point you just realize, this is something that I don't love into the next level of play, and so I think that you're pretty rock solid and mature. They're going to obviously see your brace. Do you want to tell them anything about that?
Yeah, so I played in our first 5 games, and then week 6, that first day of practice, and it's called one-on-ones for offensive and defensive line. I played offensive line, and accidents happen. I basically just kind of landed on my leg wrong. My opponent's weight, he fell on my leg, and I ended up having a torn ACL and meniscus. So I've been out for the whole season since. Yeah.
Bummer, but you know what? Glad you're on the mend, is all we got to say. Okay, we'll get into it. What are some misconceptions, again, I don't use the term lightly, you are in the atmosphere, you are in the culture of elite high school football on a national scale. Are there any misconceptions that people might have?
Yeah, for sure. A lot of it is just recruiting and that every single guy on this team wants to be a Division I, Power 5 type of guy, when the majority of us have no plans of playing past the high school level. But we're a pretty well coached group. We have great chemistry, but not everyone really has that whole I'm so ready to play at the next level.
What would you say is like the percentage breakdown, like, or is it literally just like a few handful of guys are like, I'm committed, I want to do this at the next level, and then the rest aren't?
Yeah, for sure. Out of like our like two deep guys, I'd say probably 25-30% of them are being actively recruited, and then a smaller percentage of that is at like the highest possible level. And then I'd say around 60% of our guys, 50-60% of our guys really just don't want to play at all. And then you have, the guys that are lower on the depth chart that obviously, without a question, they want to play.
Maybe they want to, but they can't.
Sure. Yeah, that too. But out of like the two deep guys that are going to be playing in the games, 50-60% of them really have no intention of playing past high school.
Gotcha. When you first mentioned recruiting, I actually thought you were going to talk about like at a high school level, and so I didn't know if that was a misconception you were going to talk about, or that you were going to address, of like to what extent are high school coaches, like trying to reach across their city lines and find other guys. I mean, maybe you want to comment on that one.
Yeah.
But is that a misconception?
I totally can. A lot of it is mostly just teams talking bad about other teams.
Okay.
On when they get transfers, you can start rumors. I don't think I can make that comment, but from what I've seen, there's no real recruiting that goes on.
You just built a good they just built a good program.
I mean, yeah, you don't win 11 straight titles, or not 11 straight, 11 out of the last 12 with solid players every year. You win it with a really good coaching staff.
Yeah. That's a really good point. I think people don't probably focus on that as much as they should. The best parts for you, like what are some of like the highlights or the great things, and maybe some of like the worst parts, kind of on either end of the spectrum of participating in that kind of environment, in that elite high school football atmosphere?
I mean, the best part, I'd say, is just the amenities that you get with it, the facilities. Just recently, last season, we got a brand new locker room. I don't know if you've seen that at all. No, it's college level. It's easily the best locker room in the state.
Wow.
So we're super grateful for that. And then after every workout, we get chocolate milk, and it's like, that stuff's so good.
It's one of the perks, y'all.
So good.
If you don't get chocolate milk after football practice, you're in a terrible program.
Gosh. No, it's good stuff. It's like, when you're drinking a Brahms milkshake and it's the melted stuff at the bottom.
Oh, yeah.
It's like a whole bottle of that. That's what it tastes like. It's
Did they import it from Brahms? Do you know where you get this chocolate milk?
No, it's Highland chocolate milk.
Yes.
But it's from like local farms.
Okay.
So
is Highland your favorite chocolate milk of all time?
Chocolate milk, just from the memories with football, absolutely.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah. And it's not like the 1% Highland milk that you get for like school lunch. It's the full fat whole milk.
Yeah. 450
calories.
Lactose tolerant people only.
Exactly.
Get that intolerance out of here.
But yeah, you get, facilities like that. We have a really nice weight room. Our stadium, it's on the better end. There's better stadiums than ours because we have more recent success. We're not like Jinx across the river who's been good forever. Yeah. Ours just started kind of happening a little over 10 years ago.
Absolutely. What about some of the downsides? Is there any perceived downsides? And, I know there's probably common and shared downsides for every football program. But for you and what they demand out of you guys, like, is there anything where you would say, man, this is actually probably a con of going to a school that has this elite high school football program?
Yeah, it takes definitely a mental and physical toll on you.
Yeah.
So, like, physically, you're getting beat up every day in practice. We have, pretty like intense practices. The intensity's high. If you're, if someone's like kind of half in it and they're not really trying, you get your face melted off by the coaches.
Yeah.
there's really no room for just messing around in that time where it's time to play. Meetings. It's not even on the field. Like off the field, we have so many meetings. We'll meet sometimes 3 or 4 times a day.
Wow.
So we have a 2.5 hour practice, but you also have 2.5 hours of meetings. You know, whether that be having a meeting at 7 a.m. and you know, you'll have a meeting after practice. Sometimes we'll meet even during the school day around lunchtime.
Yeah.
At one of the coaches' classrooms. We'll watch film in there. So it's just constantly just film, doing stuff at home, watching it on your phone for huddle, because they can see how much you're watching.
Right.
And then not even to mention, you know, our coaches had the bright idea to start 6 a.m. practices on on Thursdays. So, you know, Friday's game day, Thursday, that day before, we'll come in at 6 a.m., do our day before practice, 6 in the morning, get showered, go to school. Then that 6th hour time where we would have football, hour and a half of film. So.
Wow. Do you think you could give for people that are kind of like just opening up to this or just coming awake to this reality, like if you had to do the math really quick in your head, how many hours a week additionally on top of school, like just dedicated to football?
Just football?
And I'm including game night. I'm including every meeting that you're in, every practice that you participate in. I mean, how many hours on top of your school are we talking here? Not to mention a lot of the guys maybe work a part-time job.
Sure. I don't know that many people that do work part-time because it really is full-time playing football. I'd say meetings alone during the school
season,
year.
during the season.
Season, a week. Well, Saturdays too. We watch film after games on Saturdays, so there's 2 hours there. Include strength and conditioning. That's 5 hours. You're probably looking upwards of game as a 3-hour game. Almost probably 30 hours a week just playing football.
Wow.
And not 30, probably around 25.
Yeah, still a decently, consistently, like, demanding part-time job.
Yeah, 25, 30 hours.
That's great. So then, you know, to kind of talk about that, so we've kind of obviously set the table, give people an idea of the context that you're operating in. How do you, is there difficulty in, or how do you live out your faith kind of in this setting and in this environment? How do you apply your faith to this setting and this environment? Is it easy? Is it difficult? Are there certain ways that you try to? Is a lot of it just how you're conducting yourself, how you're living your life? Tell me a little bit about that.
A lot of it is just living, you know, by example, I guess. Probably one of the best Christian guys I know, his name's Wyatt. He plays on our football team, and I'd say he's the best example when it comes to like being a Christian athlete, because, you know, he's open about his faith, but it's not like he's going to be preaching to, you know, his guys on the field when it's time, you know, to practice. He's not going to be, you know, preaching all that, but, you know, he's not going to be the person cussing. He's going to be the person helping his teammates out. And then whenever the time comes to being like him being open about his faith, it's no surprise to them that he's like that.
Yeah.
So when you really show that example, that's whenever you can really leave more of an impact to your teammates.
And people, you're saying like the guys in the team, they notice those differences. They notice like, oh, Wyatt doesn't cuss. Oh, Wyatt is somebody who maybe just has a little bit more respect for people around him.
Yeah, for sure.
There's just something different, and people latch onto that. That's good. So for you, it's been more like how I live my life, the actions I take, over, hey, I'm gonna tell everybody kind of like about Jesus and what they need to know about Jesus. Yeah, that's kind of been your experience.
And with that, there's nothing wrong with that. But whenever you are as open about your faith with your teammates, that's when you have to be on your best behavior.
Sure. Because
my sophomore year, I was like, you know, people knew I was Christian, but I didn't act like it. And my most convicting moment was there was one of our teammates, he was going to play, you know, college football at Auburn. And, you know, he was like, would be considered spiritual. Sure. But I was kind of like giving him, you know, crap, like, hey, that's not very Christian. He was like, you're one of the biggest hypocrites I know. And that was one of those like,
yeah, I mean, gosh, it's a moment, man. It's a moment like that where it really kind of makes you sober up.
For sure.
Yeah. Thanks for being honest about that. I mean, It's very real. What would you say that was maybe a moment that things shifted for you, or was it still like kind of messing around, and then you decided like, hey, I'm gonna really try to get my stuff together to rep Christ, or what did that
Yeah,
look like for you from that moment
it
on?
was definitely a more pivotal moment that I had
Mm-hmm.
that season. But in the future with my teammates now, I've been a lot more, I guess, obedient
Yeah.
to Christ with my actions. Not being the guy that's gonna cuss. I'm gonna be the guy that's gonna help my teammate out. So one of the younger guys, I'm gonna
Yeah.
give him advice, and I'm not gonna get upset or like be worse to them because they mess up on something in practice.
Yeah, that's good, man. Because I think, like, even as you were talking about it, I was thinking, like, especially the part of the country we're in Tulsa, Oklahoma, everybody's heard of Jesus, or most people have. Most people have probably been to church within the last year. And so they see a lot of people that just call themselves Christians. And yet, if you could be somebody that's not over the top with it, you're not trying to preach at anybody, but you're just humbly living your life and you're displaying Christ when you can, I can see how that would make a big impact. That's good insight. In high school football, I mean, as you're playing as an athlete, are there any temptations that are maybe unique to you specifically, or are some of those just similar temptations a lot of high school athletes around the country kind of go through?
I'd say it's most of the people around the country probably have the same temptations that we would have.
Sure.
A lot of it, there's a lot of ego problems
I
sometimes.
was about to
for
say,
people.
like is there like that extra, like, man, like we're national, man. Like, do you think a little bit of that pride?
For some people, I wouldn't
Creeps
say
up.
it's for all, but I would
Yeah.
say for the most part, like just how some people treat just people that aren't involved in sports in your class. Because it's not like someone's gonna be like, oh, I'm on the best team in the country. I don't think they have like that attitude towards other people outside of school. But whenever you're in school and there's someone that's a lot more quiet, if they want to have a say in something, they're going to be a lot more hostile towards them. I would say that's probably one of the biggest issues
Yeah.
for our school.
I got you. That makes sense. You'd be like, I mean, when I was in high school, quite honestly, it was just a lot of the partying, a lot of just like sleeping around, stuff like that was especially, a temptation. I feel like with the athletes. I went to a much smaller school than Bixby.
Yeah, that's definitely it is.
It's just the
an issue
same.
here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I get that 100%. Well, appreciate you a lot, Ben, for coming on and talking just a little bit about your experience. Is there anything else that you wanted to share that maybe you didn't get the chance to? Any other word of advice? I'll end with a little bit of like something that you could say to maybe an elementary school kid or a middle school kid that's maybe just getting started in their football journey. Any bit of advice you could give to them, they want to live for the Lord, or anything of that nature?
Yeah, for sure. I would say just find two or three, well, not even two or three, just at least one person that you can rely on for your faith. And that should be that one person that you are closest with in your sports and football. And that's going to be the person that's going to help guide you and hold you accountable. So just find, you don't have to have a whole group of people to know, just find one good person and just stick with them.
That's great. Awesome, dude. Thanks for chatting with us. This is Ben Savant. He's a legend around these parts. We talked a lot about football today, but I do want to emphasize to the people listening and watching, so much more to Ben. This is a unique experience I think he has that he can speak to, but if you are listening to this and you know him or you know of him, like, get to know him a little bit. He's a great guy. And we just appreciate you for watching this very first episode, and there's more to come. So we'll see you guys soon.